Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Guess what? It is WHL playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little taste for the playoff hockey season to come. Joey Kenward joining us, host, of course, of WHL Central on Shaw. Joey,
hello.
How are you, man?
Good to be back. Thank you.
This is about to be a busy time of the year for you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does your schedule work? I mean, are you all over the place in different...
A little bit, yeah, you could say that. Doing a lot of traveling around Western Canada, and the playoffs, as you mentioned, kick off Friday, and Shaw's going to cover the Red Deer Rebels Edmonton Oil Kings series, so it's a 6:30 puck drop.
Nice.
Vancouver time, 7:30 Alberta time, Friday and Saturday.
How much debate goes into who you're covering first round and what's going on? I can imagine people get into that conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, we want to have a good matchup to profile for the viewers, and we want to profile some of the best players, and we're certainly getting that with the Red Deer Rebels and their star sophomore forward Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who you see here.
This guy's, everyone's talking about him being top 3 pick for sure.
He very well could go first overall in the NHL draft this summer.
What makes him special? What makes him a different player from the other crop this year? Just offensive capabilities?
Yeah, he's about an all-around package as you'll see in junior hockey right now, anywhere in the world. I mean, he's got great vision. He's really smart with the puck. Maybe more importantly, he's smart when he doesn't have the puck. I relate him to a guy like a Joe Sakic. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time, very responsible. He scores a lot of goals, but he sets up probably double the goals that he scores. And
so obviously very exciting to watch. And who else should we be watching out for?
Well, there's so many players from around the Western Hockey League on both sides of the Rockies, but one guy in particular is Braden Shen, who might be the best player not in the NHL right now, in the world. He used to play with the Brandon Wheat Kings. He was acquired before the trade deadline by the team that wound up winning the league, his Saskatoon Blades. He's a Saskatoon boy, has represented Canada on the World Junior stage, has played for the LA Kings. He is the real deal as well. This will be his last taste of WHL playoff hockey, and he would love to go out with a bang with his home team.
And we're talking about these players. It just shows the caliber of hockey that we have in the WHL. It is so amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I make no bones about it. It's the best junior hockey league in the world. More players get drafted into the NHL than any other league than the WHL, and it's a fantastic breeding ground. And it's not just for the players that are going into the NHL, because there's just a small percentage that, as we all know, make it to the show, but for all the other kids that are playing and developing their skills as athletes and as young men, they're also at the end of the day getting a huge bonus by getting their schooling paid for, because for every year you play in the Western Hockey League, you get a year's worth of schooling paid for by the league.
We've talked about this a little bit before, but this is hockey is really leading the way when it comes to the development of players as people as well. And I think it's something that people don't take enough pride of when they're fans of the WHL, that these guys are learning, a lot of life skills as well as, the obvious schooling.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, when they step into the league, they want to be the next stud in the National Hockey League. But the reality is that not everybody gets there. And by having this fantastic scholarship program in place, it gives them a fantastic opportunity to further their playing days when they're finished in the league, because they can play at any Canadian university, which the majority of them do, and then pursue something else that maybe is outside of hockey. And there's guys that grow on to be teachers or doctors or lawyers or even stay in the game as coaches or management. So
for sure.
It's a great story.
Let's talk about the brackets and who's playing who. We have a couple of graphics, I think, from the different playoff matches. Favorite matches outside of the ones that we're covering?
Well, obviously Red Deer Edmonton is the one that will feature in round number 1. Saskatoon Prince Albert, that's a close Saskatchewan rivalry. First versus 8th in the Eastern Conference. That's a big one.
And there's not a lot of love lost there either between those teams.
An interesting matchup, an all-BC matchup, has the Kelowna Rockets, who were the BC Division champions this season. They're taking on the Prince George Cougars, who haven't had a lot of playoff success in recent memory, but they've got the skills to pay the bills. They've got some high-end talent, so that's a good feature.
And they've got a great fan base too. I mean, up there, like
they do, but it's a hockey town, but they've really struggled to get fans into the building because they haven't had a winning program there in such a long time. But I'll tell you what, if they do have a winner, and they've got some unbelievable skilled players, like a local boy, Brett Connolly, is a first-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. If this team can upset Kelowna in round 1, I'll guarantee you the fans will come in droves to see them. The Vancouver Giants are in tough. They're playing the Tri-City Americans. It's been a bit of a different different year for Don Hayes' troops. They've battled the injury bug. The Tri-City Americans are the defending Western Conference champs, so that's a good matchup.
They're getting a couple guys back at key times, though, right now, aren't they?
They certainly are. Brendan Gallagher, who was their leading scorer and a member of the first conference All-Star team member, he's back. They'll need him to be going on all cylinders, and they'll have to find a way to shut down the offense for Tri.
I have to mention one other thing, because you also have the great fortune of being part of the Whitecaps broadcast coverage, the in-studio host for Whitecaps game. How much fun was that on the weekend? The first game
inaugural.
in the MLS for the Whitecaps.
Tremendous. I mean, you couldn't have written a better Hollywood script. The folks at Twilight behind the scenes would have been proud of that one.
No
I mean, 4-2 for the Whitecaps over Toronto FC, the first ever MLS game at Empire Field.
Sunny day.
Sunny day, lots of goals, sellout crowd. It was wild.
And when you look at the history of the Whitecaps, as everybody has been in the last while now that they've gone into the MLS, it was so great to see the fans react that way, and the fans in the stands as they were back in the day.
Absolutely, and to take nothing away from the other professional sports, be it the Canucks or the Lions in Vancouver, but it's a way different crowd at a professional soccer game, and you could tell that when the teams walked onto the field. You can tell that when the goals were being scored. You could tell that when the referees were flashing the yellow cards. Like, it's a way different vibe, and obviously when you have a storybook day like that where it's a 4-2 win, which is by soccer standards pretty weird.
And what a great day for Bobby Lenarduzzi to see it come full circle.
Kidding. Yeah, I mean, happen to a better guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was here in the heyday of the NASL when the Whitecaps won the Soccer Bowl championship. He was here when Vancouver looked like they would never have pro soccer again. So I'm sure it was emotional, to say the least, for Bobby watching that game play itself out.
Joey, thank you so much. We want to mention the first playoff game happening Friday, March 25th, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time on Shaw TV, Edmonton versus Red Deer, and then the Saturday game as well. 6:30
as well from the NMAX Centrium in Red Deer.
Thank you so much, Joey. Nice to see you. We are going to take a quick break.